Hello everyone and welcome back to the European Roundup. Today I'm going to be rounding up, as usual, La Liga, Serie and the Bundesliga, but we're also going to be including the Champions League and Europa League. So I might have to rush through the first three leagues a little bit, but we've got more content for you today. So let's get straight into the episode. So beginning, as usual, with Serie A, and to be honest, a pretty good weekend of football. Atleti, yet again, winning against Granada by 2-1. They're actually drawing at the moment with Levante 1-1 at the time of this recording, so they would have finished playing by the time it's all gone out, so can't really include it. But another good performance, Angel Correa getting the winner in this one. Luis Suarez not scoring, but it's good to see that Atleti, yet again, they've got different options that can score goals for them if needs be, and that obviously will serve them well in European competition this year, as in the title race as well. They're currently on 55 points. Yet again, really good form from them, and they've continued on their winning streak. Really good performance, solid defensively again, good in midfield. They look like a very good all-round team, and certainly, are going to be able to take that and form hopefully into the Champions League and really sort of fight for progression. Really, now that it doesn't look like they'll be facing Ronaldo, Diego Simeone should be on course for really a Champions League win, which would be a very, very impressive season for them. They've been to two finals now, one or two finals. They haven't won it. They need to win it. But in terms of league form, they're still superb. I mean, defensively, they've still only conceded 14, and they look to be sort of you can't really say runaway leaders because they're only 6 points ahead of Madrid, but they're certainly looking good for it. If we go to their rivals then in Real Madrid, 49 points. Good win against Valencia for them, 2-0, very, very comfortable, and their sort of resurgence has seen them climb up the table. There's still doubts about Zinedine Zidane, whether he's good enough for the club, whether he's good enough to take them forward. Of course, they have had a few sort of drop-off points, but this was a good, solid win for them, professional, and it was good to see Benzema on the score sheet again. He's had a really good couple of seasons for Real Madrid after, I'd say, probably quite a difficult period for him, but he's definitely come back into the forefront this season, and he's looked very, very good for it as well. So another win for Real Madrid takes them to 3 points ahead of Barcelona. They do have a game over them though, so you do have to take into account that Barcelona could win their game in hand. Speaking of Barcelona, fresh off the back of their defeat in the Champions League last night to PSG, 4-1. They did beat Alaves by 5-1. A Messi masterclass in this one. Superb performance, a brace for him, and a brace for Trincao as well, a player who, like I said in a couple of episodes ago, hasn't really had much of the limelight at Barcelona. He has struggled, particularly with the big price tag he came for as well, but really showed his quality in this one. He's shown glimpses of it for Barcelona, but this was a real sort of, star performance from him. 2 goals of very good quality as well. And that takes his tally to 3-2 now. So definitely, he's definitely on the up, Trincao, which is good to see. You want to see young players do well, and it's good to see that he's fitting into Barcelona's system. I think that they still have issues defensively. I think at points they do have lapses in concentration. They were lucky with it today. Well, not today, but with the Alaves game. Yeah, it's another one of those really that they've just got to they've got to be more solid at the back, particularly in Europe as well. Sevilla, they continued their fine form. They beat Huesca by 1-0, and that win sees them on 45 points, only a point behind Barcelona. And I have to say, fair play to them. They've been really good this season. They've played some wonderful stuff under Lopetegui, as they did last season as well. Very, very impressive team. And you have to say, really, that they're one of the sort of the standout teams, really, in terms of form. I mean, they're on par with Barcelona. They're both won 5 of their last 5, but they could maybe be a bit like a Lazio. They could sneak into the title race. You never know. But I've been impressed with Sevilla this year. They've had some really good performers. Papu Gomez has made a big difference. Ivan Rakitic as well, returning to the club. I mean, they beat Barcelona recently in the Copa del Rey as well. They've had some impressive results, and being only 1 point behind Barcelona, you could say, well, they did beat them. So there is very much the chance that they could catch up. If they can translate their Serie A, if they can translate their league form into wins, then there's no reason why they can't easily finish in the top 4. I mean, it looks like they're going to do that at the moment with Sociedad struggles. They're 3 without a win. Villarreal are 5 without a win now. 4 draws in a row. And Betis are, patchy at best. So it looks like the top 4 is very much consolidated in La Liga. But the question will be who can come out on top with the title race. Atleti have got a really good chance of winning it this year. They need to just make sure that they keep up the momentum and not falter in the last few games. Right, moving on from La Liga, we have Serie, which took place. We had quite a turn up for the books, really. AC Milan losing 2-0 to Spezia. The Minnows, first time they've ever been in Serie A, I think, from my research. And a pretty shocking performance. 2-0, not even scoring a goal. But a very, very impressive result for Spezia, who are having a fantastic season, it has to be said, considering it's their first in Serie A. They're doing very, very well. 13th place is very respectable. But poor from AC Milan. Really, really poor. This is a real chance for them to just continue their form. They're on 3 defeats now, and Inter Milan actually overtook them with their impressive win over Lazio. 3-1. Lazio's superb form really halted straight away by title contenders Inter, and they go top of the league by 1 point. Very impressive performance from them again. Romelu Lukaku reaching 300, I think, career goals. I mean, this guy is just so underrated, considering that a lot of people don't actually, put him in the rank of some of the best strikers in the world. It amazes me. But yeah, he's an unbelievable player for them, and he's really suited their system well, and they look to be really pushing on this season. After quite a disappointing campaign last time out, the Europa League defeat in the final must have really hurt them, but they've come back strong this year. Another chance in the Europa League for them, and another chance to win the title as well. They better not mess it up. Well, Juventus, they lost out to, Napoli. Gennaro Gattuso's Napoli, who were in inconsistent form before this. Very, very good win for them. Really, really solid win. And to keep a clean sheet as well is superb. I mean, an Insigne penalty. It was a close-fought game, really. But I think it definitely eases the pressure off Gattuso, and they've had 7 defeats this season, and that's been the big issue, is that they either win or lose, but they need to start turning those losses into draws, and they need to get a bit more consistent form. And that's been the issue, and hopefully this can be a turning point for them, because if we're looking at the top 7 in Serie A, which is obviously the key focus for this series, it's so close, unbelievably close. I mean, Roma, they won again at the weekend, they're on 43 now. I mean, Inter and AC are sort of in their own little title race. They're quite a few points ahead compared to the other gaps. But if you look at Roma, Juventus, Napoli, Atalanta and Lazio, there's really nothing to separate them. And any of these teams could push for the top 3 and for the top 4. I mean, Sassuolo could have been in the conversation, but they've really dropped off recently. No wins in their last 4, so that's kind of them out of the race. But Lazio, still very much in there with Immobile in the side. Atalanta, under Gasperini, not been as good this season, and obviously the loss of Papu Gomez will hurt them, but they still have every right and every chance to make it far in this league and maybe push for top 4. Juventus are one of those where they're a team in transition, but the board will want them to finish Champions League. I mean, can you imagine Juventus not finishing Champions League? It's unheard of. Disappointing defeat for them though. Obviously Roma, comfortable win against Udinese, 3-0. Udinese, a side that, if not for poor form up front, they could be higher up the table. I mean, they have one of the best XGs, or one of the higher XGs, but Kevin Lanzagna has one of the worst XG conversion rates in Europe's leagues at the moment. I think he's got 8 goals less than expected, and that shows another game without a goal for them. But a solid performance from Roma. They continue to show their attacking prowess. 47 goals this season, third top goal scorers, in the league, behind Inter Milan and Atalanta. So yeah, impressive season for them so far. If they can continue it on, we'll have to wait and see. It's a good league, Serie A. Trust me, very good season this season, as you can tell from these episodes. Plenty to digest. Not enough time to do it though. Right, finally, we'll move on to the Bundesliga as we try and speed things up a little bit. Really, really big result for Arminia Bielefeld, who are, of course, fighting against relegation. They drew 3-3 away from home against Bayern Munich. Now, Bayern, very, very different performances based on not Arminia Bielefeld's performance as such, but the snow. Interestingly, very, very poor in the snow. As soon as it went, they were fine. Which I guess, is a bit of a coincidence. There's quite a few jokes about it on social media. I thought it was fascinating, but Bielefeld, what a performance, by the way. They were 3-1 up in this game, let's not remember. But in typical Bundesliga fashion, Bayern Munich yet again come back and get the point. But Bielefeld, some really nice goals. Set pieces as well, they were causing them problems. But yeah, very, very odd performance. I mean, let's not forget, Bielefeld were 2-0 up in this game. It got to 2-1. Lewandowski, brilliant goal, by the way. Superb player. Lovely little volley. Then, of course, Gebauer scored straight afterwards. And Tolisso and Davies with the goals. Davies with his first of the season. Rifles a shot in from long range. Very, very good goal from him. Nice to see him on the score sheet. He's gone maybe under the radar a little bit more this season. Last campaign he was really shot into the limelight. But this season is a chance for him to, consolidate and become a world-class player. And this, of course, gave the chance for Leipzig to catch up. And they had a pretty, I'd say, routine win. They might have lost last night to Liverpool, but they got a pretty routine win. 2-1 against Augsburg. Good side Augsburg. They can be a decent team on their day. Having a poor season this time around, though. And they have struggled in the past couple of campaigns. But, yeah, Leipzig, again, continuing on their good form. If not for a couple of, hiccups here and there, they could be closer to Bayern. But the gap is now reduced to 5 points. So we still very much have a title race on our hands. And, of course, bringing in Frankfurt and Wolfsburg into that as well. Both unbeaten in their last 5. They've won 4 of those. The form of Andre Silva is really propelling Frankfurt up this Bundesliga table. Again, same problems, though, really, for Wolfsburg and Frankfurt. The same problems that Leipzig had last year, which was too many draws. 10 wins and 9 draws. Only 2 defeats, but you've got to start converting those. And that's the problem with the Bundesliga. I think Bayern are really one of those teams that just consistently get results. But the big plus is for teams around them is that Bayern Munich's defence this year has not been brilliant at all. 29 goals conceded is joint worst, really, in the top 5. I mean, even Bayer Leverkusen in 5th have conceded 26. You got Leipzig have conceded 18, Wolfsburg conceded 19. There's much better defences than Bayern this season. And in the long term, I think their firepower will get them over the line. But you could easily say that the teams with more defensive prowess could grind out results a bit better. But we'll have to wait and see. It is one of those, really. I'm looking forward to seeing how this title race turns out. I do think that Frankfurt and Wolfsburg could put up a very good fight. Another team that is sort of struggling at the moment, Dortmund, draw against Hoffenheim, and they easily could have lost this. Honestly, the amount of one-on-ones they conceded was ridiculous. One of the things that amazed me about the Bundesliga is how high defensive lines are. It's so easy to get in behind, and they got broken down several times by Hoffenheim. Really, really worrying defending. And we've said this so many times over with Dortmund. We said this under Lucien Favre, and we've now said it under their interim coach as well. But Babu just had the absolute running of that defence. And luckily they were saved by Erling Haaland and Jadon Sancho, the two sort of star boys of this side. Sancho really starting to pick up now. 8 goal contributions in 8 games in 2021. He's really sort of turned his form around, which is crucial to Dortmund pushing back up the league. Haaland, again, it just gets a goal pretty much every game. Unbelievable talent. But yeah, really, really worrying defending again from Dortmund. Of course, they have agreed a deal in principle for Marco Rose, who's coming in from Borussia Mönchengladbach. So it'll be very interesting to see how the coach does with them. He did wonders with Mönchengladbach last season. They haven't been as good this season, but they can score goals. Maybe defensively they haven't been fantastic this year, but if they can just get a bit of momentum going under Rosa, then I definitely think that they could push for the title next season if they back him. They back Lucien Favre, they need to back Rosa. He's a very, very good manager. So, I can't really complain with that appointment. I raved about him last year, we all did. The Bundesliga followers, we all raved about him. So it'll be very interesting to see how he gets on at Dortmund. So hopefully, now they have something to transition to. I said in the last episode, they are a team maybe in transition, but you have to have an image and a goal there. And finally they have that in Marco Rosa. Very unusual though that Mönchengladbach announced that this was the deal was happening now, halfway through the season. I think If I was them, I would have waited until the end of the season and not officially announced it now. Very strange decision in my eyes, but it's their decision at the end of the day. So that brings you up to date with all the latest league action. I will see you in a bit. I'm going to watch the Champions League. I watched it last night. I've got to watch tonight's as well. So I'll see you when that's done. Okay, now let's move on from the domestic leagues and let's go on to the Champions League. Now, I would be normally doing the Europa League as well, but to be honest, at this point, I just need to get the video out. And there's already been a bit of a delay because of university and things like that. So, let's get straight into the first tie, which everyone was speaking about, and that is Barcelona against PSG at the Camp Nou. PSG running at 4-1 winners in the first leg. Now, of course, as we all know, history can repeat itself, and this isn't the first time that Barcelona have needed to claw back a big deficit against PSG. Of course, they did it quite a number of years ago under Luis Enrique. Can they do it again is yet to be seen. Of course, they did have Neymar back then, though. He now plays for PSG. So it'll be interesting to see if PSG can get through it this time. I think they will. I think that Pochettino has got enough nous about him. He's already reached the Champions League final in recent years. Well, it was only last season, wasn't it? No, it wasn't last season. The season before, sorry. Memory's going missing. But he does have the experience to be able to get them through it, and I think that he will. But Kylian Mbappe with a hat-trick. Unbelievable player. I mean, the amount of potential this guy has. I'm so excited to see what sort of career he develops and how far he can go. All three goals are really well taken. Marco Verratti as well was particularly impressive, deployed in a more number 10 role, higher up the pitch. He was all over the place, getting the ball back, and he was pressing up high, and of course he did get the assist for the equalising goal. Barcelona with the obviously with a penalty to open things up, but PSG dominated really most of the game. Barcelona barely had a sniff. They look so good, PSG, going forward. They're having pretty much a 4-2-4 in possession. They had 5 even at points stretching the Barcelona back line. They look really, really dangerous this year, and their midfield three of Gay, Paredes and Verratti looks to be really, really effective. And Pochettino has got a team there that he can win something with now, and that's the difference. He's got real world-class players. So, you know, it'd be nice to see Mbappe maybe move to the Premier League, but after that performance, you just got to appreciate it because it was absolutely spectacular. Now, the other game, maybe not quite as exciting, but it was Leipzig who lost 2-0 to Liverpool, and yet again, the Bundesliga's high defensive lines showing themselves in an ugly way yet again. Leipzig caught out really with 2 goals. Poor mistake by Nordi Mukiele in particular for the second goal, which will be disappointing. Mukiele and of course Upamecano, 2 of the French prospects coming through in defence for Leipzig. But Liverpool were very good in this one. Really, really impressive to see them bounce back after some of the really pretty horrendous performances that we've seen in the Premier League this year. Really turned it around, and 2 solid goals as well. Well worked. Mohamed Salah getting on the score sheet yet again. And do you know what? I think that this could be a turning point for Liverpool. We have seen, you know, Salah post on Instagram that, you know, they will come back fighting, and they certainly did in this performance. Some very, very nice attacking play. Leipzig could have had some goals of their own, to be fair. They had a couple of good chances. Hwang Hee-chan missed the chance in the last minute. But other than that, they weren't at their best. And I think that in the Champions League, you've got to be. It doesn't look like they're going to have the same run that they did last year. I think it's going to be very difficult to pull back that 2-0 gap. But Liverpool have been very poor at Anfield this year, so you never know. Then if we get into the third game, which was a very, very entertaining one. This round of fixtures was really good last night. Dortmund-Sevilla. Mahmoud Dahoud, who hasn't scored in, I think he scored once in 4 years or something like that. Scoring what turned out to be the winner. He scored the opening goal. Erling Haaland got the winner, let's be honest. A brace for him. Superb performance yet again. This guy all the time showing how good he is. And he actually said in his post-match interview that seeing Mbappe scoring a hat-trick spurred him on to do better, or to you know, perform. And that's exactly what we want to hear. We could be looking at the next Messi and Ronaldo in terms of the battle about who's better. But yeah, a thoroughly impressive performance. Again, defensive issues for both teams. I have spoke about in previous episodes that I was expecting a high scoring game in this one, and that's exactly what it turned out to be. But Dortmund go into the second leg with 3 away goals, so even if they lose 1-0, they'll still go through. They could do with a goal though, obviously. You know, a 1-goal deficit isn't enough, But it's a very solid performance and a very solid win. And, you know, if they can just get a bit of consistency, which they've lacked this season, then they could have a strong end to the season. The second game was also a very big surprise, probably the shock of the round. Porto defeating Juventus by 2-1 at the Dragao. Very, very impressive performance. Cosenzial playing again, of course, the manager's son. No nepotism there, I'm sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Very, very good prospects. Good to see him speaking with Ronaldo after the game, the future and the present of Portugal. But real off day for Juventus here, conceding 45 seconds, I think, into the first half and 19 seconds into the second half is something that Pirlo's going to have to look at. They are slow starters, Juventus. I think at points this season they have proven to be that, and this was really sort of put on show today, or yesterday. And they just couldn't get back into the game. Taremi with the opener, and after that it was really sort of a cagey affair. Of course, Porto went 2 goals up. Juventus managed to fight back, but in the end, not enough. And, a tough defeat for them. And this makes the second leg very interesting, which is, of course, what we want to see. Okay, so that brings you up to date with all the latest action. Of course, if you are interested in getting some in-depth analysis, I would recommend checking out The Athletic. We're not sponsored by them, but it's just my personal recommendation. Very interesting podcasts and articles that come out on that website. So, yeah, fantastic to see them doing well. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you subscribe to WDSportz for more content like this. But until then, stay safe.